This is the Orange Zone, supported by Northside Collision and Time Warner Cable.
Gillen looking for a pick. He's not getting one. Tough shot. Oh! He can't be stopped tonight. Gillen. And that'll do it. Rarely is the sequel better than the original. This one matches up with the Elite Eight performance. Another comeback for Syracuse.
They're now putting pressure on Gillen.
Well, I got a double team, though, on him.
Leiden. Kick out. The three. Battle got it for the win! Tyus Battle knocks it down, and Syracuse wins it at the buzzer.
What a week for Syracuse basketball. Welcome to the Orange Zone. Amazingly, Coach Autry has still have her voices after that week, right, Coach?
Oh, what an unbelievable week for Syracuse basketball, like you said. I'm still talking now.
I've got a remedy for that, by the way, and I had to use it as we took the Clemson highlights the other night. But my goodness, as we look at the week, and listen, I mean, every one of these last three wins, you guys have had to rally. There's been exciting finishes. As a coach, what is this like?
You know what? It's great, when you come out victorious. Definitely,
Yes.
You use words like, togetherness and fight and battling, and they did. Whether we, I'm glad we came out on the victorious side of it, but these guys really have stayed together and fought and just keep improving each game.
No question about it. It is time now for the East Syracuse Chevrolet Orange Play of the Week. Geez, I have no idea what this could possibly do. What do you think, Coach?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
Let's take a look, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We have Clemson, 8 seconds left. They take the lead by 2, and then it's the play, right?
The play, yeah. Yep, this is the play.
And, what do you, obviously you guys adjusting here, and then a freshman hits the shot. First of all, how impressive is it that Tyus is able to hit that shot? And second of all, the way, when times of the essence, guys like John Gill and Tyler Leiden make the decisions on that play that they do.
Well, I think, Tyus is stepping in. It was a great play by Tyler Leiden by delivering the pass. So, it was a perfect pass right into his pocket. You got to give credit to John and Tyler before we get to the shot of just having composure and closing out on control. Tyler makes a great sweep move and draws the defense in to create that open shot. So, just great poise and execution on their behalf.
I got to look at the reaction from Coach Boeheim.
Oh, he still has it. He still got a little
Is that not
athleticism.
perfect?
Yeah.
He did the fist pump after
yeah.
Virginia. That energized Central New York. I mean, the entire team's got to be energized by that.
Oh, absolutely. We're in it together. We always say, we're in it together, and for our fans as well. But when you're on the road, you kind of have that. It's just us against the gym. So it's great to see Coach really, get into it, which we already know he's into it. But to have that passion still, is unbelievable.
So they're paying me overtime lately because suddenly you guys have just flipped that NCAA tournament script upside down. We'll take a look at the state of the Orange, and here's why. We've done this every week. We know the record, 16-9. The ACC record, 8-4. 1 game back of first place in the ACC, depending on what happens with Duke and Carolina tonight. The RPI, this is important. Before that Wake Forest game, it was 140. Right now, at this very minute, it is 58 and climbing, and that is right in that NCAA tournament zone. Another thing, and Coach, I know this is just all for media. You guys don't pay attention to this stuff, but there's a website out there called bracketmatrix.com, and what it does, it takes all of the mock brackets online and does an average of them. Friday, 6 days ago, 4% of the mocks online had you in the tournament. As of today, it's at 50%. It's actually north of 50% right now. One of those things, and of course, Pitt is coming up Saturday. We'll talk about the Panthers in a little bit. My goodness, just the momentum, everything is just going Syracuse's way right now.
Again, the guys are kind of, pulling together, pulling out some tight wins, and that's a great thing. And you need it at this time, kind of come back from where we were coming from. Every win counts, and every win is big for us. And the guys are just kind of stepping up, and each game is someone different, being a hero. So we just, we're just excited, and we just want to keep moving forward and keep getting better.
And it's one of those things, too, where it's against top 10 teams like Florida State, Virginia. It's on the road with NC State and Clemson. From that standpoint, how impressive is that?
Well, I mean, anytime you can get a road win in our league, it's a good win. This league, again, we say it week to week, from top to bottom, the best league, in my opinion, as far as basketball goes. And, anytime you can go out and win on the road, sometimes it's not pretty, but, a win is a win at this point of the year. You just got to get the win. It's always impressive.
That was the last knock on these so-called pundits out there. Now you got the road win, so they can just be quiet about that a little bit. So it is time now for the Kerner Ford Orange Player of the Week. This one was hard to give out because, like you said, everybody's playing so well. You could give it to Tyus for his shot, but we're going to go with Andrew White just because in every game of this win streak, he has been above 20 points. And what does that do for your team?
Well, he's been consistent, lights out, just giving us, that constant scoring threat, and taking the pressure off of everybody else, opening up lanes for John and, giving some room for Tyler Lydon to work and everyone else when you have someone like that. But he's just been lights out. I know the offense is what, people talking about. His defense has been really, really good in this 3 or 4 game stretch, really just kind of stepping up, getting a lot of deflections and steals.
And I know your job as coaches is, yes, this is great, but you just have to focus on the next one. And I don't care if Pittsburgh is 12-11 or 2-9. They're a very, very tough team, especially in that arena down there.
The records doesn't matter. The Syracuse Pitt is always a tough game. It's a rival game. They play well at home, like most teams in our league, and so it's always going to be tough. And I think the guys are, have some confidence, and we got to go in there and just be ready, and it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a tough game.
No question about that. We'll dive into Pitt in just a minute when Coach Hop joins us. It is time for this week's Karuba Collision Dunk of the Week. Tyler Lydon's 3-week reign ends in favor of the freshman. Torian Thompson, the alley-oop, right?
Oh,
in Virginia?
You know what was so great about that is the way he got out and ran and caught it on the run. And that's really hard for big guys to do that and catch it on a run and the timing and put it in.
And that's the thing, like you mentioned, he has to adjust here. And we'll look at one more replay here. What I like about it is that Virginia misses the layup bad because of Torian Thompson, and then he gets the play at the other end.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good, and we've been trying to get him and emphasize him getting guys up, beating guys up the court, and that was just an example of it.
Awesome, Coach. And we will talk about Pittsburgh when we come back with Coach Hopkins. And speaking of Coach Hop, he'll be joining us from the Mello Center when we come back. Coach, we're just getting warmed up here. It's always fun when we're on a 5-game win streak, right?
Absolutely. It's good to be in the studio.
No question about it. We'll break down these guys when we come back. The Orange Zone rolls on with Coach Hop from the Mello Center when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss what Coach Hop has to say about the road ahead for Syracuse basketball. Welcome back to the Orange Zone. It is time now to join Coach Hop. Now we're doing something a little bit differently this week. Coach, we know you're a busy guy. It's the middle of the season, so you're live with us here at the Mello Center. First and foremost, we were just talking with Coach Autry. What a week it has been for you guys. How exciting is all this going on in the Mello Center right now?
All the stuff that's going on, it's, winning. Winning's good. We're rolling. And, as Coach Boeheim puts it, winning is fun, losing is not. And so the kids are playing really well. We've been able to, win a couple games on the road, which have been difficult for us. And the kids have made plays down the stretch. They've come down to the wire, but the kids have made plays, and just happy for them, proud of them, and on to the next one.
We've had a few of those moments in the last week where there's the buzzer beater shot to force overtime or to win it the other night. What's that like when you're on the bench and you just see that ball go through the net and know you just won the game?
Well, it's a pretty incredible feeling. Tyler Ennis did it against Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh. Everybody keeps replaying, obviously, the Pearl Washington versus Boston College, the walk-off home run, per se. And, I was never in a situation to make those shots. Adrian was. So, obviously getting to one of your best shooters in rhythm on a last-second play was pretty special. And, that's why you practice. That's, you can shoot 10,000 shots in a season, just keep working, and it comes down to that one play, and that determines games. And you realize and appreciate it's such a fine line. And it was just a special moment to see the team bond and jump on them. And Coach Boeheim jumped up. I haven't seen that vertical jump in a long time. And so that was pretty cool. And we've got some good momentum. But we talked about it before. This is a gauntlet. So on to the next one.
We were just talking about that. It's so great to see Coach running down the sideline. Or my favorite is the fist pump. You gotta love the fist pump, right?
Oh my gosh! He's. It was pretty cool. This one and this one and this one. it's pretty cool. And you know, Adrian and I and Jerry, we all play for Coach, and you know, to see the way that this team has come together as of late is really cool, and it's a lot of fun. And you know, everybody's put a lot of work into it, and to see Coach that excited, because it's a grind. You know, in and out, guys. Making plays, not making plays, and trying to get them to be consistent. And these guys just keep getting better and better and buying into what we're doing, and it's just a lot of fun. So those moments are very special, because if he misses it, you're going, you know, they make it, and you're going this other way. So happy to be on that side of it.
You mentioned the gauntlet. Pittsburgh certainly fitting into that. We already saw them earlier this year. You guys shot lights out and rode that wave to the win. This will be obviously a lot different, especially down in their building, right?
Oh, there's no question about it. And, you know, teams, you know, Adrian did the scout, and he's watched them probably 1,000 times in the last couple of years. But this is a team that's obviously very dangerous, and they're great offensively. They're getting better defensively. And when teams play with a sense of urgency, which you have to do in this league every night, you know, you gotta bring your A game. And you know, obviously it's a great opponent. They've had a lot of great success against us, and should be a great test.
No question about that. I want to go back to Coach Boeheim for a minute. I know you can't say any of this stuff, so I'm going to say it. What an impressive milestone week it was over the weekend. And when you can just consider the body of work in Coach Boeheim, and if we said all the accolades, we'd be here for about another 12 hours. But just everything this man has accomplished, and to be a part of that as a player and coach now, what's that all like?
Well, just, you know, to be part of, obviously brought us in, Adrian, myself, and Jerry, we all played, graduated from school here, gave us our first coaching opportunities. We've been part of a lot of wins and a lot of tough losses. But to be part and see the tradition and being part of the tradition in our fan base, it's a pretty special thing. And, you know, just to be a part of it is just incredible. And so when you go out and you go on the road, and, you know, obviously Clemson wears orange, so there's a lot of orange, but there's a lot of S's in that place. And everywhere we go, there's just a huge following. So, you know, to be part of something bigger than yourself, I think, is the cool part of it. It's a brand, it's a family, it's a following, and that's what I think makes it so special.
You know, and the last thing I'll ask you on that front, when you really think about it, listen, I know there's been much bigger things in Syracuse basketball than the current 5-game win streak, as exciting as it's been. But given everything that Coach means to this program, this town, to have this team come back, and we talked about the reactions, when you see him so excited like that, how cool is that to see? Knowing what he means to this town, to see how happy the guy is right now.
No, it's, hey, listen, you know, 2-3 weeks ago, you're in a ditch in your car, and you're trying to figure out if there's if AAA's here, you're going to get cellular service. You know, are they there? You know, can we get help? And these kids just kept fighting, kept believing, kept practicing, kept getting better. You track a little bit of momentum. You know, won a couple of really tough games where we had to dig it out, and then you have a couple big wins at home where our fans were just incredible, and then you go on the road and you win in kind of heroic fashion with a late 3-point shot to beat the buzzer to tie, and then you win in overtime, and then obviously the Virginia game. I mean, there's in this last one, you know, they can't, you know, you just appreciate the moment because you know how hard it is, and I think when you see Coach happy, because he's been doing it for so long, and you know how hard it is, and to do what we're doing is pretty cool. And you know, I guess as an artist or anything, when you start seeing the final product of what you're painting or what you're doing, and you start to see it, you know, it kind of looks like just little scribbles at first. Next thing you know, there's color, and then it's going, and it's getting bigger, and you're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then it's 3D, and then it's 4K. But at the end of the day, that's why you coach. You know, you're trying to develop something and build something. And so, you know, to see Coach have that and to be a part of it is really, really cool and special.
Coach Hopkins, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and best of luck on the road Pittsburgh Saturday.
Just say hello to the red man for me.
Well, I can do that right now for you, right? Coach Autry.
I love it, the red man. He's a stud.
Isn't he? Right?
He won a lot of games.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
when the ball was in his hands, you knew you were going to be in good shape, I can tell you that.
He's like a dating show.
He's like, Coach Autry's like, is that a dating show? Coach Op, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. And Coach Autry, I do want to ask you, we've been talking about Coach Boeheim. But I did wear 15 in grammar school because of you. But anyways, long story short. You know, again, I'll say it because you guys can't, you know, it was a milestone win Saturday. It was a huge number. To see that scene with the fans are on the floor, coaches doing this with the crowd, how amazing was that?
You know, it was really an unbelievable scene for an unbelievable accomplishment. And, you know, I know, you know, for playing for Coach, you know, years ago, you know, and to see him still, you know, winning and guiding this program, and not only the program, but the town and the community and being at the forefront and still have that same passion and drive. It just speaks volumes of the type of person he is and how passionate he is. And this is more than just a job for him.
No question about it. And we see that. And again, like I was saying to Coach Hop, you love the energy and enthusiasm. It's so awesome.
I mean, to be coaching as long as he has and to still be able to show that type of emotion and energy is just, you know, it's just unbelievable.
I hope I can jog at that point.
Me too, man.
No kidding, right? Coach Autry, thanks so much. Coming up, hey, it's the play. Tyus battle, a sinking Clemson with that three-pointer. We have this big screen. Coach Autry will take a closer look when we come back. You're watching the Orange Zone right here on NBC3.
You're watching the Orange Zone, supported by Northside Collision and Time Warner Cable.
We're back here on the Orange Zone on NBC3. Coach, you know it's my favorite segment. It's time to take a closer look thanks to Allen I Associates. What else can we take a look at, right? It's the game winner.
The game winner. Coming out of this, we wanted John to push it up and put pressure on the defense, and he's pushing it up, and he gets the two guys here. We tried to get it back for Tyler. Tyler made a great read, and I mean, what a pass, on time, on target, stepping right into it. You know, couldn't execute it any better.
Unbelievable.
Couldn't execute it even better.
Now, on this play, I phrased it a couple points. Kind of explain to me, you know, how Clemson adjusted to make you guys make adjustments.
Well, right here, as he's pushing it, you see they kind of build a wall on him to kind of stop John and kind of corral him, chain him up, contain him. If John, he could have dribbled a little bit more over here to try to get it back, maybe, but, I mean, the timing was perfect, and, you know, Tyler just makes an unbelievable, as soon as that guy starts, unbelievable read, as soon as Tyus' guy left him, he had a great passing angle and delivered it right on time.
It's easy to forget sometimes for pundits, but that was a true freshman. And I know he's incredibly good. He's not your average freshman, but that steps up in that moment, has no other choice but to shoot it and makes it. How impressive is that?
Well, impressive, you know, because, you know, he hadn't been really shooting it well in that game.
Right.
I think that was his second shot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, to be able to not even think about it and step right into it, and it was the way he stepped into it. We always talk about, you know, meeting the pass and stepping aggressively. You look at it, he steps into it, and you know, it's like, that's good.
It's like he knew he was going to shoot
Yeah.
and make it before he even caught the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's what we always talk about, on time, on target. Great pass by Tyler, and again, you can't I mean, he snaps it right to him, just like if he was somebody was rebounding for him.
And the presence of mind of Leiden too. He's one of your leaders. He could have gone in for the tie, but you know, what does it take in that moment with the clock winding down? There's no time to think, but to see in that peripheral vision Tyus open like that, how impressive is that part of it?
Well, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, a clear mind. You know, time is running down. You know, a lot of times people panic and they just want to get a shot off.
Right.
But you know, it seemed like he had his own clock in his mind, and he was very patient and just made an unbelievable play.
You know, listen, there's been some great buzzer beaters in Syracuse history, and this is just up there with him, though, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just the way the game was, and you know, coming out, you know, being able to set up something and to execute it to a T. I mean, really execute it to a T. That was just, you know, beautiful basketball.
No question about it. Coach Autry, thank you so much. I could watch this for hours, but you guys, and I know you personally, you've already been watching Pitt a little bit, so we got to talk about that.
Absolutely.
No question about it. When we come back, our final thoughts on the Orange in Pittsburgh Saturday at 1 o'clock. And by the way, you can watch that game right here on NBC3. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Orange Zone right here on NBC3. Coach Autry, listen, you won 5 in a row. You'd like nothing more than to make it 6, and that'll certainly be, though, a very difficult challenge on the road at Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. You know, Pittsburgh, even though the record doesn't indicate it, you know, still a tough matchup. They're playing well, you know, and even in some of their losses, couple, you know, 5 3-point losses, so they're not like they're playing awful basketball. And you know, they've had success against us, and it's always hard to play down at the Peterson Center.
You know, it may sound like just a cliche, but I mean, listen, the ACC, there's so much parity, just anybody can beat anybody, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, think about when we started,
right.
you know, our run a couple of weeks ago. No one really thought that we could win, and you know, and we started, you know, getting it going. So at any time in this league, every night is a different night. It's just a different challenge.
No question about it. Coach Autry, thank you so much as always. We appreciate the time. Coach Opp, thanks for joining us from the Mello Center. That'll do it for the Orange Zone SU and Pitt Saturday right here on NBC3. Good night.